I can't take you serious. I really can't. Paul just loves Windows 11 noises and jingles and jangles and
Now I'll explain it, because this is no, this is the type of thing I think 9 people out of 10 are going to be like, I don't even use this feature, so who cares? But for the people who do, you will have experienced this, because this happens on every computer I've ever used. By default, Windows uses a sound scheme or theme or whatever. It's called Windows Sounds. It makes a little bong sound when you sign in. It makes a little bap sound when something goes wrong. It has sounds. I don't like sounds. I don't like to be distracted. So I go in and I turn that off. Now, in Windows 11, this is a multi-step process. It's a lot harder than it used to be. You have to right-click on the volume icon, sound settings. It goes to the the settings app. You have to scroll all the way down. More sound settings. That brings up the sound control panel. You have to go to the sounds tab. It is called a sound scheme. I know this because I look at it 21 times a year. Mine is set to no sounds, but it goes to Windows default, I guess, is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you change it to no sounds. Now you get no sounds. So you make mistakes. There's no bong sound. There's no nothing. It's great. So here's the problem. It keeps coming back. This is on a stable version of Windows 10. It's not like Insider Program. Like, there was a period of time where I thought it had something to do with the Insider Program because you're installing a new build and blah, 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 whatever. No, this happens on every computer I use. It just keeps coming back. So I have another issue. This isn't Windows 11's fault, I don't think, where the Focusrite device I use to connect this microphone to USB on the computer has some kind of a loose connection somewhere. So every time it disconnects and then reconnects, I get a little Scarlett Solo, whatever it says, Focusrite, your thing is back, whatever it says. And there were periods of time of great instability with this thing where that thing pops up continuously. And if I'm doing a podcast like we are now, or Windows Weekly, which is 2 hours long, I'll lose the microphone. Like, it will go to a different mic, and I have to go back and, sometimes I have to go back and actually manually put it back to the right thing. So the perfect storm of these two things happened this morning right before Brad called me, which is somehow this has started happening again. So Focusrite keeps came up 8 times in a row, every time. Ba-ba-bung, ba-ba-bung, ba-ba-bung. Like, what the? I turned off the sounds. Anyway, this is Windows 11, folks. This is quality control. This is details matter. And if you think these people are ever going to make the UI consistent, I can assure you that will never happen, because these little things, they will never fix. Never, never, never. It is horrific. Anyway, what's today? Wednesday? All right, we're almost through. Crest in the wave. I don't know. It makes me crazy, obviously.
Well, we enjoy watching your demise, through.
Oh my God, seriously. It reminds me, I always think of this conversation. I used to stay with this guy, Joe, when I went out to Seattle, for Microsoft stuff. He lived in the area. And Mac OS 10 was kind of new at the time, and he was so excited about it and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but it's got this thing with the dock where when there's a notification, this icon bounces up, and he goes, that's great. It tells you need to do something. I'm like, Joe, I'm working on something. This bouncing thing never stops. And he's like, no, I think it's a great feature. And I went in front of his face, and I'm like, tell me when this gets annoying. Just tell me. Because, by the way, it's never going to stop. It's not going to stop. You have to click on it, And he's like, okay, I see what you're saying. And this is the audio version of that. It's just it's like an assault on the senses. Anyway, good morning.
Intel has released the 12900KS, which I'm vaguely interested in, mostly because it just sounds like a crazy chip. But 5.5 gigahertz max frequency, whatever. We know it's going to be a really powerful chip, whatever.
Right.
The thing that kills me here, it needs 150 watts of power. 150, Paul Thurrott. This thing is a CPU.
That's not a desktop processor. It's a nuclear reactor. Does it use rods from Chernobyl or something?
The box it comes in actually doubles as a toaster oven. So you just place that on the top of the CPU there, put your toast in, and
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I think it's a show. Yeah, if you look, if you can just put me on for 1 second. There's a computer up there you can barely see right on the desk there. So this is a Lenovo Yoga 9i, 7th gen. It comes with this new generation of Intel chips, as it would, right? 12th gen. And I think the interesting thing they've done this year is they've switched to this kind of hybrid core format where they have performance cores and efficiency cores. And then on it, like, look how thin that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a 28 watt. Is that right? Yeah, 28 watt processor. So a P series, which is new. Usually these things would have come with like a 15 watt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Processor. I think some of the more modern ones can step down to maybe 7 in the right conditions or whatever. Like, I'm sure this does because of the hybrid nature of it. They have 56, which is probably 8H series, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing you're describing is it's like a different thing altogether. Like, what did you say it was, 150 something?
150.
150. I mean, I don't even what is that? What's it for? Is it for like engineering workstations or something? Gaming PCs, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
you realize when you power this thing on, the lights dim, right?
yeah. I was trying to look up the 3090 Ti because that is coming in a few weeks or maybe even now.
Do you have to like plug it in where you put your dryer? Like the was that like
it's great. I've already got one of those outlets in my garage for my car.
for your Tesla.
I can just
exactly
repurpose
like that
thing.
kind of round plug or whatever with the fins.
I think when you pair this thing with a 3090 Ti, which is a $2,000 GPU, a 1,000-watt power supply is going to be the absolute minimum. Absolute minimum.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, it's been a long time since I've even thought about this thing. I'm sure my son's gaming computer has like a 550 watt, power supply, something like that. Yeah, that's wow, that's nice to know. So this is like the Mustang GT of performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like. We're just gonna, or you get like a V12 in a high end Mercedes or something. It's like we're not gonna go for efficiency and turbos here. We're just gonna throw horsepower at it.
So the quick Google, because Bing surprisingly didn't pull this up like Google does. The RTX 3090 Ti will need 450 watts.
Just by itself. Yeah.
Without a CPU.
Yeah.
So you're looking.
Yeah. So any computer with that thing in it would need 1,000 watts. Really.
Yeah, you put those two together, 1,000 watts, easy. It would be like the safe place you need to be.
I think people who buy this stuff don't own Priuses or electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not for that crowd.
Yeah, like you can just hear the coal fire power plant just kicking on when you boot up each morning.
Yes, actually, ideally, it would be coal powered.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Or oil. Oil's fine too.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna buy one because it's $750 just for the chip. Plus, you got to get a motherboard, and then you probably want to get DDR5. Well,
Then you got to upgrade your electrical service.
Yeah, actually, which I would probably need to do. It's incredible. Anyways, not too much else going on unless you care about cryptocurrency, where there was $650 million stolen. Just another day.
Really?
Yep. There's a. It's called Axie Infinity. It's a game of some sort. They got compromised. It took them about a week to notice that $600 and something million were stolen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, why
I wish I had that much money to be stolen and not notice it.
Well, here's the thing that I can't get past currently. Okay, so let's say you are these hackers and you steal 600 million Ethereum or whatever, and some other whatever. Let's say $600 million bucks, and you have it in this cryptocurrency. How do you liquidate this? Because it's not like you can just go like, hey, look, Steve's bank account went from $3,000 to $600 million. Like, that doesn't work. Like,
that's a good point.
So you've got to find some.
I described this to somebody, and maybe it wasn't you. To make this transaction that we're trying to do in Mexico, we have to transfer money.
Yep.
And this is not, I'm walking into a bank with cash, right? If you made a cash transaction in a bank in excess or $10,000 or more,
it
would have to be reported to the federal government, right?
Let alone 600 million.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. So in my case, like the thing the bank account we're transferring to can only accept checks up to $50,000. So we have to make multiple transfers, and you can't do them all in the same day. They have to happen on different days. So suffice to say that this little set of minuscule transactions by any measure has set off every fraud alert imaginable. I've had to deal. Well, it's over now. We finished. But I had to deal a couple weeks ago with 3 different fraud departments to prove to them that I am not smuggling drugs or whatever it is. I don't know what people do with money, launder money or whatever it is. Like, I mean, so the thing you're describing, I don't know. You make this transfer from your super yacht in the Mediterranean and to like a Swiss bank account or something. I have no idea how that even works. I
hear Belarus might process. Like somebody's got like how. I don't know what you do with. Now I guess if you've got the cryptocurrency, it's maybe a great problem to have. I guess if you don't mind jail. But
I just talked to a guy at the gym the other day who said something like he invested in Bitcoin. He said it was the best thing he ever did. It's up like some huge amount. I don't remember. I'm not, whatever the number is, 400% or 500%, whatever it is. And he goes, it's great. So he's like, on paper, I have all this money. He goes, I have no idea how to I have no idea how to turn it into money. And I'm like, yeah, I can't. You're going to need a computer scientist for that. I have no idea how that works.
You probably need a 12900 KS.
Exactly. Yep.
So anyways, if people care about that kind of stuff, it's worth reading about just because I find it fascinating because this is like a whole new economic theory that's being developed in real time without, I almost said parental controls because that's what we're dealing with with my kid.
Well,
but like frameworks and
parental controls. That's exactly right.
I mean, that's what it's lacking. It's it's fun to watch this stuff play out in real time, unless you're on the losing end of $600 million, which at that point, what's the difference? At least in my world, what's the difference between 1 million and 600 million? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. How did this happen? This was in a game?
So somebody's going to write in because they'll have a better technical understanding of this. So this is what they call a bridge in the crypto world, which links different types of currencies and their network effectively. Imagine the banking framework got compromised and they were able to take control of a node which could self-sign transactions, which isn't supposed to happen, but they put their own backdoor in so they could sign their own transactions, which is sketchy in itself. And somebody figured this out through social engineering and then just stole the bank is what they did. I mean, they stole the bank.
So it is kind of a game then.
Yeah, it's the game of Monopoly.
Wow.
I didn't see
That's
that one.
Impressive. Okay.
Do not pass go.